YouTubers, Pastor Bob NCC. Hey, I want to talk to you for just a minute about Proverbs 30. You know, Proverbs 30 is a proverb that was not written by Solomon. It was written by a guy named Agur, and I want to talk about that man. So we start off in verse 1 through 3, and it says, "The words of Agur, the son of Jacob, even the prophecy he spoke unto Ithiel, and unto Ithel and Ucal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy." So this guy Agur was not an educated man. He was most likely a farmer or a shepherd. And Agur and his sons were most likely friends of Solomon. And these words were written over 3,000 years ago by an uneducated man who lived out in the fields. Let's see what he knew. Verse 4 goes on to say this: "Who has ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If you can tell." How in the world did he know that? How did he know that the God of all creation had a son? Most likely, if him and his sons hung around Solomon, they most likely heard the songs of David, Solomon's father, because David sung these songs, and that's what the Psalms are, songs. They were probably songs that these people sung, and they educated the people with these songs. So Agur may have been uneducated, but 3,000 years ago he knew more than 99% of the world's PhDs know today. And then he looks into the future, and he prophesies about a future generation off in the distance. Listen to these words: "There is a generation that curses their father and does not bless their mother. There is a generation that is pure in their own eyes, yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men." People, this prophecy absolutely describes the world we live in today. It describes what's written on the Georgia Guidestones. It says they want to rid the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. They want to get rid of all the people. People, that explains the Georgia Guidestones. They say maintain the population of the earth at 500 million, which means 6.5 billion of us have to go. It's Total Agenda 21. He explains it perfectly. How did he know that 3,000 years ago? Agur also knew several things that were a trap to him, several things that could entangle him, and he asked God to help him with these two things. Verse 7 to 9, this is what it says: "Two things I have required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the Lord thy God's name in vain." People, listen. Agur said, "You know what, Lord?" He said, "I don't want to be poor. If I'm poor, I might steal. And if I steal, that's the same thing as taking your name in vain." He said, "And I don't want to be rich either. Because if I'm rich, then I may decide, hey, I have everything. I don't need God. I already have it all." He said, "Lord, I want to be right in the middle. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be rich. I want to be right in the middle." You know, people, I think that's where happiness lies. Paul said he's learned to be content no matter what situation he's in. But listen, wealth is a trap. And poverty is a trap. Where contentment and happiness lies is right in the middle, being content with what you have. And where he says it's stealing, stealing is taking the Lord's name in vain. That's a trip. Because what he's saying there is actually for the believer, for the born-again Christian. All sin is taking the Lord's name in vain. That's some pretty heavy stuff. Anyway, I just want to give you something to think about. Sometime this weekend, if you're not doing nothing, pick up your Bible, open it to Proverbs 30, and read these words of Agur. They're pretty cool. Anyway, heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.